Hello, my name is Brian, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about the confusing state of the Dragon Ball Super market while opening a Critical Blow booster box. I want to start out by, emphasizing that I did recently get back into the Dragon Ball Super collecting. I've been collecting Magic, Pokemon, and I did start with Dragon Ball Super back in 2017 when it first came out, but after a few life events, I had to put a pause in a lot of the collecting and buying, and Dragon Ball was the first one to go. I recently did start getting back into it after the manga booster box came back out. And so after doing a little digging through, all the different social medias and looking at the different card markets on TCG Player and what's available on eBay, I found a lot of things that were a bit confusing to me. And hopefully through me verbally trying to explain myself or what I'm observing, and maybe you, the listeners, giving me some type of comments letting me know a better explanation of what's going on, maybe we could both learn something. First, I want to start off by, giving the Critical Blow booster box being a big example. If I look at TCG Player right now, they are going for about $80 each. Now, that is a decent price for a booster box. When you're comparing, for say, some of the Magic the Gathering boxes that are going for over $100 right now, or the Pokemon booster boxes that are going for over 200 at release, right? I feel like $80 is a manageable price. But when I look at the chase cards, that's where things get confusing. It doesn't make sense how there is a $1,000 Gogeta God Rare in an $80 booster box. Now, I understand that it is extremely difficult to get that chase card. However, it's a $1,000 card. In graded form, it could raise the price between over $200 to $500 depending if where you sell it. And it doesn't make sense. You can even look at some of the other chase cards. There's the Bursting Rage Gohan that's going for $70. And the Super Saiyan Gogeta, the Fusion Reborn one, not the God Rare, but the lower version, it's going for almost $80. There's decent cards in here with beautiful artwork. However, the booster box price doesn't reflect that. And it's not like there's a crazy amount out there. For this Critical Blow box, if you look at TCG Player right now, there's only about 90. That is very low. Now, I don't know how to play the game. I don't think I'll ever get into playing the game. It's just not something I have the time for, or, the interest in going into card shops and playing with people where, based on what I'm seeing online, is the game mechanics are not the best, and people aren't out there, exploring different alternatives of using, maybe a different flavor of cards that aren't the meta, and they're just using the same decks over and over again. I get that might be one of the hindrance and of making the card game grow. And that's part of the reason I don't want to get into the game. Some reason I don't get into Pokemon, it's just too limited to me. For me, I enjoyed playing Magic the Gathering when I was playing it, and I played Commander simply for the reason that there is a large variety of ways you can play, right? You don't have to choose a meta deck. You could build your own commander based on a specific card that you enjoy and like, and choose 100 different unique cards. I don't see that in Dragon Ball, so for that reason, I'm not choosing to play. But back into the topic of the card market. So I was saying there's only 90 available online today. That seems extremely low for a booster box, right? You have to recognize that there is tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of players worldwide, and there's only 90 available. If for whatever reason there is a viral moment where Dragon Ball gets a bunch of hype, that could fluctuate these boxes tremendously. And in a way that, again, it will can make an $80 box be worth $300, $400, $500 just for the limited amounts that are available. And Critical Blow isn't a very old booster box. The other confusing part is some of the original cards. Example, the Galactic Battle booster box. The very first one that ever came out. I had picked this up on release. Thought this one specifically. I recently bought this one again. And I just thought the artwork was amazing, I really thought that Dragon Ball Super was going to blow up. At the time, 2017, the series had maybe just finished, all the episodes dubbed in English for the Tournament of Power. And I really thought it had a lot of headway and a lot of runway to go big, right? I used to watch the YouTuber Super Players. I still watch him every now and then. And he had tens of thousands of views compared to what I'm seeing now is very limited. And again, that's one of the things that I'm confused about. Dragon Ball is a very large anime, right? It's definitely one of the top 5 in the world. And if not top 5 anymore, maybe top 10. And it's been around for 40 years. There's people collecting all over the globe, different toys, vintage posters of Dragon Ball. A recent YouTuber, I forgot his name. I was looking at him and he has over $400,000 worth of, Dragon Ball stuff. I mean, there's collectors like that, and of course in smaller scales out there. And to see that the card game with amazing artwork isn't doing well is confusing to me. For me, someone that does not play, decided to get back because of the artwork I was seeing in the manga booster box. And one of the things I immediately wanted to get was the very first booster box that I opened, Galactic Battle. And I saw that, hey, this box is 8 years old. It's 8 years old, and it cost me only $150. Yeah, it's not a small amount of change. It's still $150, but you could get individual booster packs for $6 to $7, and there's only like 20 available right now online. Only 20 single booster packs available online. If you look at the booster boxes available, there's only 3 sellers on TCG Player. 3 sellers alone, and one of them is selling 12 of them. The other 2 have a single one. It goes back to if someone decides, hey, I'm gonna buy out Galactic Battle, what would that mean to the price of it? Someone just needs to spend $2,000 or $3,000. There's a bunch of people that have that amount of money laying around. Maybe not you or me, but might be a big collector out there that says, hey, this is an investment opportunity, and decides to buy them all out. What will happen to the price of the very first booster box that came out from Bandai? Now I get Dragon Ball has gone through its hurdles. It started with Card S, then Score, Panini and then Bandai. Regardless, the booster boxes, I see the risk short term, but long term, especially like in the very first Galactic Battle booster box, I feel there's a lot of potential. The Panini booster boxes before Bandai, you can still find some between $50 and $100 on eBay. However, if you look at some of the older scorecards and try to find those on eBay, there's only probably maybe less than 10, and the amount that someone's willing to sell them for is for over $2,000, if I recall correctly. For a 15 to 18-year-old booster box. Well, almost 20-year-old booster box. Math was wrong, forget that. But that is big profit for someone who wants to collect and maybe invest in Dragon Ball. Now, I collect Dragon Ball because, I've always loved it ever since I was a kid. And I also like investing. Now, Dragon Ball specifically, I consider myself a fan first, collector second, and investor third. When compared to Pokemon, I'm definitely an investor in Pokemon. I am a fan. I've seen all the shows, but my bigger passion is around Dragon Ball. It's probably the type of videos I should have been doing in the first place in my channel. But again, it's just very confusing for me. Making skeptical investments in Dragon Ball, knowing the full risks that it could probably stay stagnant for years to come and never go to the highs it once was, like when it first came out. But that's something I'm willing to take a risk on, and getting the prices locked in now when I'm seeing there is a short supply. And maybe once the Dragon Ball owners, the two different companies, settle their disputes, Season 2 of Dragon Ball Super may come back and bring a bunch of hype back around. I'm willing to bet that if it does, a lot of these older booster boxes will go up. Now I know the video finished, but I did want to continue. As I was saying, if Dragon Ball Super does come back, I'm willing to make that bet that a lot of these older booster boxes will go up. Even with Dragon Ball Daima coming out, I know I didn't bring a lot of the hype probably people would have expected. People didn't like, Goku coming back as a kid. But it did and does feel that it was presented in a way that it could bring a bunch of young fans into Dragon Ball and make it the doorway into exploring Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Heroes. Make them lifelong fans the same way you and I are. And then start looking for toys or maybe the card games that are available. For that reason alone, I feel it has a lot of growth potential. Now, I don't know if these booster boxes will ever go to $1,000 anytime soon. It could take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But if all it's going to cost me is between $150 and $200 to get one, just so I could double my money in 5 years, or maybe triple it, quadruple it, that's something I'm willing to bet. This isn't investment advice. Obviously, y'all make your own decisions, but I just wanted to bring awareness to it about how confusing the Dragon Ball Super card market is. And hopefully, I see it in the comments, y'all can enlighten me a little of the ups and downs that I've missed over the past 5, 6 years. I'm sure I've missed a lot, but I'm back in the hobby. Probably won't be playing it, but we'll be collecting, buying, and talking about it. If you all enjoy the content, please support the channel. And if you haven't already, I am doing a giveaway through my shorts. September 1st, I will be publishing the giveaway of this. There it is. Childhood Goku, graded 10. I graded it with PCG because, again, I like the quality of the slabs, and didn't want to grade it for investment purposes, just to get it protected and nice quality slab. So if you want to be part of that giveaway and enter a chance to win that Childhood Goku graded 10, go ahead and check out those shorts. Make sure to like and leave a comment letting me know your favorite card from the manga booster set. There's going to be 12 episodes. I'm not sure. The 12th episode might be releasing in a few days. The more comments you drop on each episode, the more chances you'll be put in. And September 1st, that's when I plan on releasing the winner. Thank you again. And I'm here for the journey.